The question basically was, why is the average man not desirable? Why should and it turned into like, why should the woman settle with the average? But I think average just has a stigma on it. So let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
All right, so let's go. Where I guess the divide was,
you see, he was the one that was disagreeing.
It was
That's rare.
the divide to me was when I asked clarity about what average was.
Yeah.
And then the clarity was about $45,000 a year, and we just got stuck on the financial aspect of it. So we'll get to the other points, but when we got to the financial aspect of 45,000, that's where I started disagreeing because I was like, $45,000 is barely enough nowadays in today's society for one person to take care of themselves. And if we talking about what we saying, a traditional woman, where you want them to stay home and raise kids and stuff like that, $45,000 is not enough to really make a living for a family off of one income, $45,000. And that's where we had the back and forth at, man. Because when I started breaking stuff down in my head, and I'm gonna go numbers first, then I'm gonna go like, what my feelings and stuff are. The numbers is with just one person. If you look at somebody who spent about $1,500 on rent, and then you think about your normal expenses, you're looking anywhere from about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And now with 45,000, and we didn't say if it was gross or if it was after taxes. If it's gross, then it's less than $45,000. But then at $45,000, that's $3,750 a month. So now, if you're just taking your basic expenses and then try to add a family on top of it with food, clothing, things popping up, like, you ain't even gonna have money to save up. You're gonna be working like the rest of your life. And so I was coming from the aspect of, if you think 45,000 is good, it's a good starting point. But if you don't want to do more and you just like, I'm just gonna settle with 45,000, and I want somebody else to come in and settle for 45,000, and we both living off of that income and then want to raise a family, I'm like, that's tough, man. And then to, I guess, go into the other point, because they let me get my shit off real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Get it all up.
Yeah.
I want to hear your point of view before I rebuttal. It's not. I'm trying to learn that. Looking at episodes.
Yeah.
I'm rebutting and not agreeing or disagreeing until I hear your whole mind frame, and I want to digest it and see where you're at.
And then my other issue when it comes to that is that's a stagnant thought process. Who want to be with somebody who got a stagnant thought process that don't want more out of life? And I'm not sitting here saying, you got to be a millionaire. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the average thought process and a stagnant mindset, don't nobody that wants more want to be with that. And you shouldn't even want that for yourself. And that's the standpoint. Like, I'm not going to push something on other people. If people comfortable where they at, hey, that's great. But I also want to encourage people that, you could do more, you could accomplish more. And I think part of the issue is we get so complacent where we at, especially in the black community. We only think we could do this. We only think we could do that. We only think basketball or, sports and then entertainment. And other than that, we ain't got no really other options when there's plenty of other options out here. You don't got to just be working at the warehouse if you don't want to. If you want to work there, stay there, do your thing. Hey, that's great. But if you want more, go out here and get more. The problem is people go out here, they get tested a little bit, they fall flat on their ass, and then they're afraid to go after their goals and dreams, so they just settle and they want somebody else to come in and just settle with them. And that's not what I'm rocking with. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want a woman to come in and you supposed to be taking the leadership, then y'all whole family just gonna be settlers, in my opinion.
So okay. Is that the average guy though?
we talking about from like that financial standpoint.
So so
That's what.
This.
Mind y'all, this is what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Cause that's been on my heart ever since we talked about it. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
on his heart.
Yeah, it's been on my heart because I want better for it. I want better for us.
I want better for us too. But
give your point of view first, and then try to rebuttal. I got to hear what your mindset is first. We talked about it, but what's your mindset on it?
First and foremost, and I think we got to have an episode on this. What is a traditional woman? To me, a traditional woman is just one who is cooperative with her man. Y'all know the plan, y'all done set it out, got a goal, and y'all can work towards it. So traditional in the aspect with me doesn't mean that the woman has to stay home, cook, clean, and raise the kids. Traditional to me means that whatever the goal is, how we gonna reach it, we gonna cooperate and stay together, making this happen. You know, that was the old school frame of mind, a way of what it was to make it happen. Women weren't allowed to work. They didn't have the opportunities and stuff like that. So they did what they had to do in the house, make sure that that's straight so that that man can go out and do all of the work and stuff. Now, you can be more of a partner, but it's still the traditional mindset of cooperation. So that's what it is to me.
Okay.
Secondly, the average guy,
But do you agree with what he's saying, or
We talking about the financial aspect of the 45,000.
getting there. So
Okay,
the financial aspect of the 45,000. If a guy is making that, by himself, I do think you will get comfortable, you will get complacent. But I think the average guy, when he has it, and we discussed this in Should Men Get Married? Go back to that episode. But I think the average guy, most guys, aren't thinking about the responsibilities to come until those responsibilities are in line. Mm-hmm. So he's not thinking about until he wants a woman and then determines what type of woman and then start talking to these caliber women. It ain't much that he gotta do to step up. He don't got a target to aim at. You know what I'm saying? But I think if a woman comes around, that catches his eye, catches his attention, she don't have to do much for the guy to be motivated. And that's an average guy. An average guy will be motivated to do more, especially, and we touched on it, especially with the right support from the right woman. Mm. And that don't mean that she got to be in the house with them. She could just literally be like, I see you working, you know what I'm saying? And that'll make him want to, I'm going to go harder now. I'm going to do more. That's what I think of an average guy. So I think it's a stigma on average because who wants to be average? But average is literally what we rely on.
The majority
is what we rely on. So if we push that motive that no woman should settle for average, not saying that you should settle like in a negative sense for average, but if we push that motive that you shouldn't be with the average guy, then I think everything else crumbles. You know what I mean? I think everything else crumbles because now you got all of the girls who only want this caliber dude, and we all know that the higher caliber is a smaller percentage. You know what I'm saying? It's not that many CEO positions. There's only one person in that position. You know what I'm saying? We don't got a company of those. We don't got, we don't got all of that. Everybody ain't at the top. But you could do a whole lot of things to adjust and make yourself, well off without having to be what is considered above average, Like, even in some entry-level positions, depending on your work ethic and how you work, you can make more than the boss. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really can. Like, like you said, there's plenty of options, there's plenty of things you could do. I think the average guy does have ambition. I think the average guy wants a good woman and he definitely wants a family. And I think the average guy is more than capable of, because all of us started somewhere, you know what I'm saying? All of us could have been considered average. As our mentality that developed, as our experiences, as our, upbringing and everything, it's everything included made us want more. made us see the opportunity, and then made us go for it. So now, yeah, after years of building ourselves, we're no longer considered average. We still ain't even at where we want to be. You know what I'm saying? And we're already past average. But the average guy, if you just give him that title, he don't got a leg to stand on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to him. Don't talk to him. You know, or don't settle with him. He ain't worth it. And all of that stuff. I think that's where I came from. Like, dang, like, bro ain't even got a chance. And he working. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right, what you got, G?
I thought about it. You talked about it for a week, and I thought about this too. But I still came to the same conclusion that way of thinking that that average is not noble, is not being praised in our community, is one of the reasons why our communities are dying. That's my belief, because especially the way that things are going now, everything is on video, everything is being seen. So way of nature with I think with humans is if you see it, you can't unsee it, and mostly if you taste something good or you watch something good, then you want that the rest of your life. I mean, like, if you taste that sugar, you know it's just up there. You have to have it all the time because you already taste it. I think that's the same way with Instagram and I don't say the names, but social media or anything like that. If the average person that already would have been average in the 1900s or 1920s was an average person, if they get to see somebody, a guy in Dubai or a guy making all this money, that small percentage like Trey was talking about, mostly the average people, the average woman, they think that they can obtain that and they have to have that or they can't have anything else. I have to have the million, I don't care about the 45% of people. So with that being said, majority of people, we're human, and you have to come to the fact that most of all of us, we're all average. We're average looking, we're average potential, we have average things, because not everybody can be the chosen one. Everybody can't be a millionaire, everybody can't make that so money. So that means that the majority of people have to get with majority of people that make that type of money. That's the way it has to be for even our community in this world to even function. Everybody can't be millionaires to make the world go around. So with that being said, if you put that mindset of always having a woman thinking that they always have to have better and always can get to that person, or always have to be with a man that makes that 80, 90, 100,000 or higher, that's going to create less families. That's going to create less ways that we can communicate and bond together and create a better society. Not saying that you don't have to strive to make the most money, but it has to come to a stance where being average is okay, and that's how everybody is, and you doesn't mean that you're the most specialist person. There was a joke that was said, I forgot what comedian said. He said, in this household, yes, you're special to me, but outside this door, you're not special to anybody in this world. I'm the only one that thinks you're special. So when you think that you're the most special person, that you're going to make this most money and everything like that, it's not most likely going to happen. So if you think of the number, I think there's probably, you would say there's almost double the women than men, right? There's more women than men in the world, right?
That's a falsehood.
I don't think
it's double, but it's, I don't know.
I think it's more women than men, but it's not double.
I don't think it's
yeah.
Right, I don't think it's double because some countries even killing the people. Yeah. That's messed up.
Keep the numbers down.
Yeah, but if you would say that, and you said that most of the guy that makes probably 70,000 is like close to like 15 or 10% of men are not making that much money. So you're saying that these women that all want that perfect dude, there's only like 10% of them. That means you're just gonna force these women just to die alone before this guy makes that money, instead of just doing like what Trey said, just getting with the average guy, and then once y'all come together, y'all can be able to build. That's what I'm saying. Or maybe that 45 is fine, because we have people that need to work on the roads, and I don't know how to say make, but need to do the smallest stuff to make the community come. Not to mess up with people.
Yeah.
There are people that have jobs that we have to rely on.
Yeah,
I mean, the plumbers, electricians, people like that don't make a whole bunch of money, but they're still solid dudes.
Yeah.
I don't think we should, don't give them a hand just because they don't strive or want to make that 100,000. I think it's destructive in our world, because it's rare for me to hear a woman say, "I'll take her average dude." Especially nowadays.
Plus, on top of that, a lot of I keep on going back to it. It's not shaming women, but a lot of women don't really know what they want. Like, you get into a situation, you haven't even experienced it, and you just saying what you do or don't want, and it's like, well, personal experience. I made a lot of money in 1 year. Did a whole lot of stuff. I think I took 5 cruises in 1 year and all of that stuff. And that was all good and glorious or whatever. But then I was like, yo, like, I made the money and then, you know, been the worker, you know what I'm saying, that just made the 45. So it was like, I've been on that teeter-totter to see where, like, what is it do you actually want? You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants money, but what is it that the money is going to bring you? Because a lot of times, what's, like, again, going to the communication, what's the goal here? Like, it's a lot of women who would be completely comfortable at home. Like, if that 45 is taking care of all of the bills, you know what I'm saying, y'all are able to manage and do things together as a unit, and, you know, you got a minimum, I think all of us got a minimalist mentality on certain things. You don't need all the designer, you don't need, you know, especially if you're not indulging in a lot of stuff like alcohol and you know, drugs and stuff. If you're not indulging in all these things, those are expensive habits. You know, if y'all
We are. Black people spend a lot of money on things
we
that we
got
don't need.
vices.
So I got a question for y'all. What determines what's average and what's not? When you say majority of the people are average, and then you got, you know what I'm saying, if you take out the money, what determines who's an average person, who's not an average person?
I love that question.
It depends. I guess it depends on what realm you're talking about. Like, as far as like money. I mean,
Well, I said
if
you take out the money,
How you know
because we
that's
keep
the
talking
average
about
person?
average, and so that's why I only spoke on financially, because financially we can pinpoint, okay, what's the average people making right about now.
That's
but if
primary.
you take out the financial aspect and we talk about average. What determines? Because we say majority of the people are average.
Everybody's average.
I think
everybody's average because God made everybody equally. It's just that something that
Where the glasses at?
that's what I think. I say it's average because we breathe in the same air. We have the same blood. We're all equal under the Most High. So I think everybody's average in my eye. That's how He made us. He ain't just specifically pick somebody. Just you number one. Just unless you was Jesus. Other than that, He made everybody equal. He gave some people some powers. He gave some people some strengths. But He made everybody equal.
He gave everybody certain powers and certain strengths.
So I would say when it comes to average, it's more so tapping to the mindset. It's how he presents it, how a guy or a person presents themselves. Their mentality, like how they think, what they're going to focus on, the ambition. I don't think they think too far ahead. You know, I know they'll think ahead, like got to have the bills paid this month. All right, cool. But the average is like the.
Well, like I think for whatever reason or whatever, we get. To me, average is a label you put on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, to me, I think everybody is unique and special and above average or amazing in their own right with whatever, gifts God gave them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody got something to offer.
But that stigma, the label of average.
But I'm asking, where did the label come from, though?
That's going to come from surroundings. It's going to come from other people. It's going to come from, to be honestly, it's going to come from a financial aspect. Or he's not driving a high caliber car, or he doesn't look like or he's not working all the time.
So that's where the mindset to me comes in at. Because if you feel like you're above average, and in order to live it, like just I mean everybody got their own thoughts or whatever, of course, but just from my standpoint, like my pay is always gonna fluctuate. I love my job and I make less money now than I did when I worked at my job. But I did it because I believe in myself. Yeah. So I took a step back to go to average or below average because I know the potential within myself.
That's not an average thing though. The average guy, he ain't gonna quit his job to bet on himself to push himself.
And I understand because everybody got different goals and things they trying to get to. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, why do we settle on ourselves? It's not even. I'm not even trying to.
But that's the thing. You make me really think, because why is that settling? I don't understand, why is that settling?
I think
I think we're really brainwashed when it comes to that.
Go ahead, explain.
Because there's a reason why, especially in our community, we're talking about our community, our black community. That's the reason why we spend trillions. We're the number one spenders. We spend as much as other countries, just the black people, on stuff that we don't need and want. Not even need, I'm saying not want, but we just want it. We don't need this stuff. We don't need all the jewelry. We don't need a haircut every week. We do not need to have fresh shoes every day. We don't have to spell these cars and houses. When things, you going back to that traditional way, if the traditional way was back then where women stayed at home and did that, I truly 100% agree. I think that we can still do that with $45,000 to $50,000 if you have one car, you have in a modest house, you don't have to go to Paris every year. I think with that money, you can have a house and have a wife and 2 kids, and you can live comfortably and just shopping at Walmart and being a regular person. It comes in where you think that you can't live off that 45 to 50 because you want to live this upper echelon life as far as having champagne taste and having beer money. I 100%. I think so.
And you can make a living till you die. And the thing is, do you want to just keep working until you die?
So that average.
And so, because with that average,
work until you die. I mean,
but I'm asking you, do you want to have to work till you die, or do you want to do what you want to do at a certain point in life?
Well, it's hard to answer that when we're put on earth to work. We're men, but God never. Well, I can't go that spiritual. I can't keep doing. I can't go spiritually because not everybody's that way. Yeah. But I think as far as that's what we're put on earth to do, as far as to work.
So it's always been jobs throughout the history of life.
People always had to do something. They had to keep moving. They got to work.
Yeah, you got to provide for your basic needs.
Yeah.
To provide for your basic needs. So now, because to be honest, I do. It's not like I don't agree that we like overspending, that we over glorifying money and stuff like that. I'm the money guy. I'm not a big fan of capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the thing is, if you in this society and if you're gonna play this role, I don't feel like you should have to work until you die. And when you come to the money, when you average, you have to be average for a longer period of time where you could be great and then be able to chill for a period of time.
So
if you know what I'm saying.
But that's not.
So
go ahead.
To get further ahead.
So that's where we, as the men that we are, have to push that into our communities, because that's the above average mentality right there. But at the same time, if I can try to clarify, like, there's nothing wrong with the average guy. To me, I think seems too safe. So I think there's nothing wrong with the average guy who's working a 9 to 5, who's making a steady salary, who's not getting like all of the raises or trying to be in leadership, and stuff like that. I think there's nothing wrong with the guy who's working, but it's safe, it's boring. I need more thrill and excitement, but the thrill and excitement is from the exposure of other things that you've seen, and it's not that the average guy can't attain these things. It's just not going to be a trip every month. It's not going to be 5 cruises in a year. It's not going to be, like you get a cruise a year, do some family stuff, some vacations and stuff. Like, what I'm saying? Like, you get something good for the holidays and birthdays and stuff. But that's not what is desirable anymore. And I think that's what I'm saying is the issue is, like, you don't have to, going back to our episode about sacrifices, that's a risk that you're willing to take for what you see is, what you see for your future. That's a risk that you're willing to take, what you see for your future. Most guys, the average guy, he's still gonna make sacrifices. He's still gonna risk.
I mean, yeah,
but he don't have to risk in that trajectory in order to get, what's the goal? You know what I'm saying? What's the goal? So I think that's where we got to have more of the discussion is we can change the face of what average is or what our work ethic should be put towards. Because my initial thought about work, everything we do is work. So I don't think we have to push a clock, you know what I'm saying, until we die. But we're always going to be improved. That's why always improving. We're always going to be trying to better ourselves and our circumstances, our situations, and the people around us. We're always going to be working in that aspect. But I don't think, I would agree with what you said. Like, I would rather do all of this work that I'm doing now so that I can have more time to chill and do more intentional things that I want to do. This is the have to do phase. But a lot of guys aren't even seeing the possibility of, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of guys like where I'm at now, they retire after 20, 30 years of working. And that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna work I know that I could put in work for 30 years and then I could retire and still be getting some type of money so that I can continue doing or uphold the lifestyle that I've already created. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to have more talk in that trajectory. But
all right. Real quick before we get started, we'll go to our commercials. We'll be right back.
Shine.
Get your shine on.
Get your shine on, shout it.
Yeah. So I put this on. I put it on everywhere. Booty cheeks, kneecaps, underarms. I got the vanilla right here. Usually, I got the lavender one. It helped me sleep good. Cause I be sleeping like this, and I can smell it off my hands. I'm trying to tell you, feeling good. Y'all better rock with this.
Right.
It's that vanilla. Yeah.
Listen, man, we ain't being ashy no more. Hygiene.
Yeah.
Hygiene is important. You need to get your shine. It's hydrating. It's light. It lasts all day. You don't got to use a lot, and it's good from face to foot.
Historically, I don't really use lotion or nothing like that because I'm like in a hybrid, light skin, in between dark skin motherfuckers. Coming back from vacation, I'm a little sunburnt. So I needed something to get my skin back right because I'm feeling like a reptile right now. So I'm gonna get this baby going on when I get home.
Oh, and look, you gotta shine on, everybody. Look, I got like 4 cases. I got a bunch of cases. And I got the big jar too. That's old school. Y'all don't even know about that. He don't even got those no more. But look, I'm telling y'all, this shine is amazing. Help with eczema, clear your skin up, all of that great stuff. So you don't want to miss out on this shine, man. Make sure y'all go get y'all a bottle of this.
All natural ingredients.
Absolutely.
Yep. Where they can find it?
So you can find this at shinecareproducts.com. Let them know that we sent you. Use the code FMF20, get you a discount.
Got to.
Push back when you say that that men have to get to a point where they don't have to work at all. I think that's still going above average. I
didn't say then. I didn't say.
What you mean?
I don't work at all. I said don't have to work. Like you gotta go clock into a job because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to provide for your family. That's what I mean. So I'm not saying like at a certain point you don't need to be working at all. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is it should be a point in your life where it's a decision for you, not because you have to work. Because if you don't go to work and you're 60 years old and you're not gonna be able to take care of yourself,
I agree.
And this is a young man's game.
I agree.
So you got these young people come in that they can pay half your salary and just push you out. I seen people come in. I seen people where 2 or 3 years before they pension, they fire them. Because they don't want to pay out their pension. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, these people, they was making way more. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm more of a minimalist. And I think we all agree on that part. Like, you don't need the designer stuff and things like that. But you want to keep your cost expenses down, even if you're making more money, because these people went and banked on the fact they're going to get a pension, and that go into... It's a whole nother topic, but then if you're not working for yourself, you gotta rely on somebody else to keep you employed. And so now it's a bunch of different factors, and why I feel like, at least for me, I had to take my life into my own hands and be like, you know what, I could go out here and get this because I can't fire. The only person that fired me is me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now when you go out here and you work and you living on the minimum wages. Or I ain't even gonna say because that's above 45 is above minimum wage, but you know what I'm saying. You at like average, and then something happened, the income. That's how people end up credit card debt so crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because now you don't got reserves because you ain't not saving enough money. It's just a whole. I wrote that paper I wrote. It kind of go into.
But that doesn't come as far as that comes as far as people being irresponsible with their money. I think it's really come down to irresponsible with money because it's a fallacy or a fantasy to think that everybody can get to a point where they're 50 and 60 years old and retire and be able to do what they want to do instead of working hard. Our structure in our world. But you said as far as maybe I missed. You said it's around like 60. You can just work when you want to, right?
You don't have to work.
Yeah, but that's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. Our world couldn't even sustain itself if so many people could do that. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a fallacy for even get there. I would want people to be like that.
That's not the average.
It's not the average because it's not impossible, but it wouldn't. Our structure for this world wouldn't balance correctly. We have to have people that don't make a lot of money. We have to have people that do make a lot of money. It's not going to work if everybody can do the same thing.
So you want to push the people that don't make enough to just stay right there then?
No, I think that people that are right there need to accept where they are sometimes. I think people need to accept where they are. I think people need to accept, like, that's the same way like me and you like to play ball. I honestly got to a point where I'm fine.
Pause.
Yeah. What's it called?
I thought you were talking about pause.
No, I was thinking about us on the court. That was
play basketball. I thought you was Somebody got me on that one. Like play basketball. Yeah. I knew I was only 5'8" and a half, and I knew I wasn't gonna be there. I accepted where I was, and I got me a job. Mm-hmm. People sometimes need to realize where they are and be like, yo, I'm not gonna be that man. We could try as much as we can. I'm not saying just try. I'm not saying that at all because I don't want to mess up nobody's encouragement in there to try to be really well. That's why we want to improve as men. Yeah. Want to get that caveat out. But there comes a time in some people's lives where what's wrong with just being where they are. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where I got a problem because everybody cannot, in their mind, say that I'm going to be the number one business. Everybody's saying that once. You're not going to be the number one business. You're not going to be the guy that's always going to be number one. We all can't be that. It's just how it is. And you have to come to a point where you accept that you're supposed to find your spot. And if it's average right there, that's cool. If it's a little bit above, if it's below, then you should eventually try to settle down and build a family and try to better our community instead of telling women that they shouldn't be able to get with that average dude just because he's right there. I think that's why more women are dying alone and more men are dying alone because they just can't accept where they are, just come together and build. And then maybe the next generation, they can set up their 45,000 where they are, teach those kids good bands and stuff like that, and then they can be able to build. And their kids can be above average because they learned the below average tendencies and how to get to a certain spot with the correct parents. And we can build more and build more. That's why we don't have no generational wealth because nobody's coming together and being able to be with that regular dude or that regular guy and then build our families to keep on doing it. You think the other side, they won't being married to average people and they build better families? And we're using why here in Richmond, like the same street, like in real estate on Monument, they have their people.
But our average is below anybody else's average, though.
What's gonna cure it? What could cure it?
We gotta do something to be able to
together.
I'm not even going from a man and woman come together. I'm just talking about us as men. Even if we come together and you still got that same mindset, I mean, you get the right woman, of course a woman could, propel you and push you and motivate you to go forward.
What's wrong with just staying where he at? What's wrong with him just staying where he at? Why can't she just be a regular girl and get with the 45?
Because society is not staying regular. $45,000 is not the same as $45,000 10 years ago. As 20 years ago. Inflation is going crazy right now. So how long will 45,000 be able to sustain?
This argument will never. It can never stand clear because you think that when we was married at the most at like 80-something%, in that point, do you think there was average people and high people at that time too, at the same way as it is now?
Yeah.
Then why did they stay together? Why was she comfortable with the average dude and she not comfortable with this dude now? What's the difference? Tell me what the difference is. It was average then.
Because the average is better than the average now. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, it's not. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding. What are you trying to say? You think back then each milk was 25 cents that month, and then 2 months later the milk didn't come up 30%. There was always inflation. It was always growing at every single point in America. At that point, they still never said inflation's going up. I'm not going to be with the average person. No, I still got with the average person. We're going to build and we're going to keep on growing. There was always average at all points in time. You can't just say now because we're older and we're adults. You think you can ask your grandfather there was inflation? Yeah, grandpa. Yeah. Well, I remember when gas was 120. When one summer, next summer it was 150. Inflation was there too. So your argument is going to go away. It doesn't make no sense.
But is technology going to go away? Because technology is getting rid of jobs.
There was technology back then too. It's always going to grow.
Though. It's advancing.
It was always advancing through life.
The problem
So
is,
We went from a radio to a phone.
And so are we progressing then? Are we
yes.
us as a culture,
people,
yes.
us as a people, we're not making too much progress.
We're not
But
because we don't have the same values.
That's the problem. Is the standards and like so. That's what I'm saying. It's a stigma of average. We're not telling the guy, the girl, to go settle for less for a guy who ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? But we can make progress together if you took.
Yeah, some of y'all do need to settle for less. Yes. Why do everybody? This mindset is tearing up our community.
I think
everybody don't deserve everything.
So what make you deserve more?
I never said I did.
What make anybody feel like they deserve more?
Anybody can deserve anything.
How can you say it's less? You should just settle for what you know what I'm saying, what's attainable. Like
That's
if it's in front of you.
What's attainable and what's not attainable? I'm asking
I know we can go for every and anything. And it's pushed on the women to say, hey, you don't have to settle. Which
you keep going to the women. I'm not talking about the women.
Okay,
though.
that's what
I'm talking about stay with us.
That's what we started at. But for us, in order to progress, you can't change something that you don't even acknowledge. And you can't, until you accept the problem, you can't solve the problem. So until we could accept our, you know what I'm saying?
So you say if you accept average, you're going to want more than average?
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
I don't agree
What's
with
wrong
that.
with that? I'm not. It's
like if you never
we can't make it that way. Some women are average.
Right, so
some women are average.
It's always going to be what I'm saying. What I'm saying
is be average but have ambition. You should want more. Yes, you should want.
I can't always say that. Not all people should want more. I can't always agree with that. Everybody. Why do they have to have more?
Why should nobody?
I'm not saying nobody can, but there's some people.
Why should you not want more?
Because he doesn't want it. You can't force nobody to want more. If he's happy with 45,
I'm not.
I can't argue.
No,
with him.
you said some people shouldn't want more.
Maybe they don't.
If they don't want more, that's cool. But I don't agree with saying somebody should. Some people shouldn't want more. If they don't want more, that's fine.
So you gonna say to a man, if you say you should want more, he be like, I don't want more. Well, you should. I don't want more. You should. You can't do that.
It depends on the person.
But you can't. Can you do that to somebody?
It depends on the person.
You can't do that.
All of us want more of something.
I want more for all of us. How do we want more as a culture then?
I want more.
Because they don't want it for themselves.
The only thing I want
it for them.
So then what we do? What's the purpose of this podcast?
The only thing I want more for the culture is communion. I need for us to be more trusting, loving, and willing with one another. That's what I want more of. Now I don't care about you wanting more money and stuff. I done talked to plenty of guys who don't want more money. You cool where you at, cool. But you can't go home, you know what I'm saying, and complain about your life if, you know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
Exactly.
You're right.
Yeah. And that's more so of the part I'm coming at in regards to when it comes to the money, and I'm only sticking to money because I agree. I don't think we average. I don't think everybody is average. I don't agree with that.
Why do you say that?
Because everybody got something special or some special talent.
I think everybody's special. Everybody.
Why? Who told you that?
I think everybody.
Who told you that?
Because we all got potential.
No, because it was millions of sperms, and we was the ones that got picked and developed and grew into us. That's why.
As
we
sperm,
got picked.
As sperm, we had to fight to make it to.
It's and I ain't saying it gotta be some. I'm not trying to get to the spiritual
some
stuff.
Some grandiose type thing.
It's a reason people still alive and other people dead. So it's on you to decide why and what's going on.
was just really wild.
So what I was saying, because
I know dudes
see
that's
what
trying to
both
kill
say.
themselves and they still here.
I see both sides. You know what I'm saying?
That's a special thing.
If everything happens for a reason, there's no such thing as a coincidence. All of us do have potential. Not all of us tap into the potential that we have, though. Everybody's not going to step up, and I think you should. I think it was Hov who said, "It's no point of you doing something if you don't think that you could be the best at it." So you should feel and boost yourself up to be the best that you could be at whatever it is that you're doing. You should always give 100%. That 100% does not guarantee that you're gonna be number one, though. So don't. If I may clarify, don't be so hard set, focused on being number one. You know what I'm saying? You could be good at, number 8, you know what I mean? But as long as you are working, as long as you're progressing, you're doing something.
And
You know what I'm saying?
that's what I'm saying. And I know G over here talking.
It's not. It's.
But
I think let's mess it up. Let's mess up our culture, man. Everybody has to. There's a reason why people win and lose. You could be with somebody that's not the number one. I don't get. I really don't. I just don't get it.
I never said nothing about number one.
But
I said be the best version of yourself.
That's it.
But that's not what people want to do. People want to be the best version of everybody. They don't want to be the best version of themselves. They see themselves, but they still think that they higher than what they are. I think that's really killing our community. It really is. It's not making no sense. That people not seeing what's really happening. Every woman wants, not every, I can't say every, but the majority of the women are just waiting out for this guy that's going to be making all this money, and they're sitting here just dying alone over and over again. They can't get the regular guy that's regular nice, that's regular chill, but you can't be with him because he don't make an extra $5,000 a year. It doesn't make no sense to me. There's a reason why you see most millionaires, when they're millionaires, unless they came up with the woman that they really have, they're picking up. They come on Lambos with tens or like models and all that. They're not picking the average regular old girl. That's their level. Why won't the regular average girl get a regular dude? They're not looking for every single millionaire everywhere. There's only so many millionaires. Every woman can't get a millionaire or a dude that's making all this money.
Going back to women, and I'm not even talking.
We were talking about women.
But what I'm saying is, I think it's the mindset. It's the mindset. I don't think a woman mind, if we're going to bring the woman back in, I think the woman want to catch the guy that she feel like, oh, he had 45,000, but you know what, I see something in him. He wants more. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. I think what it is, women don't want to get with the guy that got the 45,000 and want to stay there. Yeah. And don't even want to try to.
Maybe he don't want
do their best.
That's at her level. That's what she is.
And so if she wants better, then that's what's her choice then.
Then let her die alone.
Okay, and that guy gonna die alone.
No, he'll find it. He'll have a better chance of finding an average girl, and she'll die alone.
Okay, if you say girl,
yeah,
because you just said earlier.
What?
That's why so many women dying alone. That's why so many men dying alone. You had talked about that earlier.
Yeah, they happen. But on average, more men are married than women right now.
How?
Talking about gays?
Damn, that was wild.
Because
how about gays? You can't say that.
Well, that's the only way there's gonna be more men married than women.
Sexual. You can't say gays.
Oh, my bad.
Hey, man, we was supposed to get monetized. You fucking it up. Damn, we was doing good last few weeks. We were doing good. You can't say that. I say homosexuals.
So it's more
homosexuals. We can't say the G word. It's canceled now. No, I ain't saying that. Maybe I have to.
So the marriage rate is up, but they the divorce rate then.
What you mean? No, I'm talking about I said the marriage and divorce rate. That's black households, but there's more black men they're marrying out. That's what we talked about. The passport.
Okay,
yeah, they're not marrying a lot of. They're not married because it doesn't make no sense. You could already tell there's 70% baby mamas. They're not married, obviously. So 30% are not married. Most men are married. There's more men. More men are married.
You said they're married outside the race.
They married outside of it. Yeah, it's wild. But we ain't talk about that part.
Yeah.
But but I don't want to go back and forth with you. I see what you're saying as far as the potential. It's just I don't want to get to we're already there. we're just getting to a point where we're not. It's a part of why we're not coming together and not building better generational wealth and generational community, just families, because people don't want to get with nobody unless they're this.
I'm gonna say.
I mean, sometimes people have to settle. We settle everything.
I'm gonna say this. Let's get rid of because all of these words have like a cringe to it. So we got to get rid of the stigma. We got to get rid of the word average. Okay, let's get rid of this word average. Let's get rid of this word settle or these meanings behind it, these feelings behind. When we say settle for an average guy, because I've seen it time and time again where the unpopular, the one who's not average, settle. These words. The one who's not average, settle, and they have a good thing, and now all of the people who didn't want this. The one who was not above average, now you look like something. You know what I'm saying? Once you're good and got the right fit, got the right partner, and you're actually like living your life, it's way more attractive. Whether it's financially, physically, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You draw in more. That's why so many people. It's an oxymoron, but that's why so many people see the attraction in someone who's already taken.
Yeah, but even think about it deeper. So I bet you can go down your lineage because I don't know about our families, but I don't have a bunch of millionaires in my families. Most of our ancestors, I guess they married and had families with average people.
That's what I'm saying.
So you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for average couple. They was making regular average money, and they instilled all this in you. You see your knowledge, you see where you're growing in. That was a product of an average place, most likely, won't it? They were millionaires. I don't know your problem. If they were, then they were.
Nah. First of all, let me clarify that. I ain't come from no millionaire lineage, but from my experience, I'm trying to think on both sides. One side I would say was like average to above average, and then one was probably average to below average, or on that side of the thing. I ain't gonna go into the details on it. Yeah, but I picked up on that. You know what I'm saying? And I learned on one side more than the other when it came to different things. I learned from both sides. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not here to kind of wrap everything up a little bit. I'm not here to say I'm not trying to downplay $45,000. I'm just saying financially and from a viewpoint of trying to sustain a family, it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of maybe some sacrifices and things like that.
We need that.
And it might you might have to work for a period of time. And hey, that's great. And if you come together along, the main thing is, are you happy and are you content with what you provided? And if you that, yo man, hey, congratulations and kudos to you. But I'm always gonna come from a place of you can always improve. You can always better yourself. You can always better your situation. I do think everybody is special. I do think everybody got something within them that they have to offer to the world. You know what I'm saying? And you go out here, you do your thing, man. Whatever floats your boat, you do that. But with that being said, man, let's go ahead and wrap this one up, yo. We could go back and forth.
Yeah, love it.
I still got a lot more to say, but we go ahead and wrap it up, yo.
Tell us in the comments, man. Y'all let us know.
Right. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace.
Yeah.